Here's the thing. Here's how this works against you when you get sick, when you're the scapegoat. This, you know, when I was chronically ill for years and years until and being gaslighted by the medical community that nothing was wrong with me, right? Being gaslighted for decades that nothing was wrong with me. And and here's the thing. And then when I began to understand that I'm sick, I've got medical issues and stuff, and I have no family support. Here's the thing. I have no family support because I come from a sick, dysfunctional family of addictions and mental illness and history of trauma, family, generational trauma, abuse or neglect, right? And all of the family members that are managing on their own, they want to deny all of this, right? They want to deny, and they'll say, "Whoa, everything, we're all good. She's the problem. She's the only one who's complaining." Yeah, right. If it was you, if you were in my spot, I used to work full time. I used to have everything also. So if you ended up in my spot, you might be complaining as well, right? But it's all with the other families, it's all public image. And they would say, "Yeah, well, we're all good. If she's complaining, maybe she's the problem." Here's the thing with scapegoats, and now when you realize you're chronically ill and you need medical help, here's the thing. And one patient with really, I think this woman, I wish I could remember her name, with such, discernment, but maybe she learned through trial and error as well. Doctors understand right away when you have no support. And they understand when you're the scapegoat, right? And well, you got to think that through. Either they're going to give you help or they're not going to give you help. But just keep in mind that they're aware that you don't have backup. They're aware that you don't have a family that's going to step up and fight for you. So if you're being treated unfairly by a medical system, if you've been long-term misdiagnosed and the medical system is angry at you because of how they failed you, it's just the medical system, and I've had doctors agree with me on this, the medical system is just like a dysfunctional family, because they will blame you for how they failed you. They will lash out at you because they're angry or embarrassed at what they've done. So if you've been long-term misdiagnosed or medically injured or repeatedly medically injured, and you're now aware of these things, there are going to be a lot of doctors that are not fond of you. There are doctors who won't hold this against you because they rise above that ego nonsense. They rise above, this bullshit narrative that doctors never make mistakes. But a lot of doctors will be ticked off at you and hold it against you if you're talking about being misdiagnosed. If you're upset that you've been misdiagnosed for years. So if you're chronically ill, and this is the case for you, doctors are fully aware. If you're the family scapegoat and you've got no support, you don't have a family. If they do something really wrong, if they, injure you or they're guilty of neglecting you as a patient, they know what kind of support you have behind you. They know if you've got a 6-foot husband that's going to show up at your appointment and ask for what's going on here, or if you've got a well-to-do family in the community that's going to want answers if something happens to you. The medical system knows who you are, and and it's to their advantage if you've got a dysfunctional family who's scapegoating you. And, being a medical scapegoat is the exact same thing. And I've had doctors totally agree. There's so much victim blaming in the medical community. But, people like me will suffer and end up losing their life because they can't get the medical care that they need, and the family won't bat an eyelash. And these families don't understand that it's to the medical community's advantage if they drop the ball, if they accidentally injure you, if they accidentally misdiagnose you for years. It's to their advantage if you don't have a family. If they're refusing you medical care, it's to their advantage. If you're not showing up for that family member and you're not willing to fight, they're fully aware that you're not willing to fight for that family member of yours.